Hello and welcome to this next Lukozer retro game review, and for this one it is quite a departure from my usual type of game. This is Alice in Videoland, which is a real oldie. This one was released in 1984 by Audiogenic, and the game was created by John Fitzpatrick. And it was never thought that it was going to be a huge success, because it was a game that was aimed almost entirely at younger children, and yet the game actually really took off and became a huge seller for one big reason, and that is because graphically it was in a completely different world to any game that had come along before it. And so a lot of people ended up buying it and using it as a kind of tech demo to show off what the Commodore 64 could do. And although I didn't have the game in the day, a school friend of mine at the time did have it, and I borrowed it off him 2 or 3 times because I found something quite compulsive about it, even though it was aimed at younger children. I did used to play it a fair bit, and I was just blown away by the graphics. I thought they were fantastic. Another first that it introduced was it was one of the first games to use a fast loading system on tape. It was the first game to use the Novaload system, which was not only faster but also more reliable than the burner loading system that really sort of became the main fast loading system for most software companies, largely because licensing it to be able to use it was an awful lot cheaper, so they got away with it that way. Now, I've not actually done anything to start the game yet. This is just a kind of demonstration, but yeah, this is the kind of graphics that you had. This is, you know, in game. This isn't, you know, just a still image, and there was nothing like it before, and this game was one of 2 that essentially were the reasons that the Commodore 64 then began to bury the Spectrum in terms of being the home computer to have and the gaming computer to have. The Spectrum couldn't compete with it at all. The only thing the Spectrum could win out on was price. But then again, I mean, the Commodore 64 wasn't that much more expensive than it, so although the Spectrum obviously carried on for quite some time afterwards, it was always playing second fiddle to the Commodore 64, although the die-hard Spectrum fans would never actually admit it. Obviously the second game responsible for that was one that came along a few months after this, namely Impossible Mission, and that really was the game that buried the Spectrum. So let's get this underway then. So we've got the intro sequence going on as Alice chases the White Rabbit, finds the hole that he's gone down. So we press fire and Alice jumps down. Now, we're not actually controlling at any point here. All we're doing is just waiting for it to enter the level proper. This part is all randomised. It doesn't follow a set path. Now we're in the controlled. I'll say the game is aimed at kids, so the gameplay is extremely simple. All she's doing is trying to pick up all of these various items which she can use. This bottle, which I keep missing, is will obviously, you know, change the size. If you're at all familiar with the Alice books, you'll know about that. I must admit, I've never read any of the Alice books. I've read enough novels that were clearly inspired by vast quantities of narcotics. I wasn't going to add Alice to that list. But the keys you will need to open the doors of that colour. The cakes, I forget why you actually need to collect them, but you do need them. I picked up that all there. I think I missed that key. Need to avoid the actual background images and stuff. Here we go. So we've now stopped falling, and if we pick up the cake, it now increases our size, and the bottle decreases it, and so on and so on. And when I eventually start moving around, we will come to various doors of various sizes, and we need the door that we can fit through. So the yellow, well, we have the key for the yellow door, but we can't fit through it. We certainly can't fit through it now. So we need to find the door that we can fit through. Okay, so we did shrink, but not by enough to get through that one. Looks like that's as far as we can go. No, it's not. Okay. And that watch, we also want to pick that up. That watch will eventually allow us to get out of this stage and move on to the next one. There's another door there, but again we're too big to fit through it. Okay, that's shrunk us a little bit more, but again we're still too big. I think this is now the size we would need to be to get through the yellow door I found earlier. Trouble is, you can't fit through doors that are a lot bigger than you, so even though we could fit through the cyan door there, it won't let us. You have to actually find the correct size door. So the blue's too big. Maybe if we eat that. There we go, so we can now get through the blue door. Takes us to the next stage. We need to find the next door through. Ultimately we need to find the watch that will help us get out of this phase altogether. So we're changing sizes all over the place, but we're not actually getting the right. There's the watch. There we go, so we got it. So we get out of that one. That scene is over, and the next scene is being loaded, which is the scene where she meets the caterpillar. I must admit, I don't remember what I'm doing on this next scene. I remember scene 4 is where you're playing croquet against the Queen of Hearts, but I can't remember what scene 3 is. So hopefully if I am able to do anything at scene 2, I'll be able to get through it, and then we can then find what scene 3 is. Anyway, press fire button to go. So here we are, and again graphically this was just staggering. There was nothing, you know, like it you know, in the rest of the, you know, on any other computer, and it just, and people were, you know, rightly just blown away by it. I think, yeah, that's right, we need to collect these insects or butterflies or whatever they are. Yeah. and I think the flying horses as well, without constantly hitting the pollen or his smoke ring. Right, there we go. So it looks like we did that one by all we had to do was take one of the flying horses and so here we go. Tweedledum and Tweedledee. I always thought they were in Through the Looking Glass. Mind you, I mean, this is Alice in Videoland, it's not Alice in Wonderland, so I guess it could be taking multiple aspects from each of the books. Anyway, press fire button to go, here we go. It looks like we're playing chess. Oh, looks like I'm fucking up. So I'm sure I'm... I get the feeling I wasn't meant to do that. I'm slightly stomping my way up. I don't know what I'm... Okay, don't look like I did too well there. I'm not entirely sure what I did there, I've got to be honest. So here we've met the Queen of Hearts. So I'm pretty sure that means this is the croquet game. And if it is, then I remember this was the final scene. Say, they didn't have too many scenes and they didn't want to make the scenes too long because it was meant to be appealing to kids. But I could never figure out how to make this scene end. It just seemed to go on and on and on. Although my score always went up. Okay, there we go. So all she had to do was destroy 2 croquet balls. That's the first time in 30 years I've actually seen that. There you go, so game over, press F7 for final scores, let's have a look. Well, there you go, that is my scoreboard. Scene 3 I didn't do well in at all, I scored 0. But, well, there you go. Make of that what you will. If you know the game, then perhaps you can tell me if that's a good score or not, because I have no clue. But that is Alice in Videoland anyway. As I say, a huge departure from my usual type of game, and a surprising hit, considering, say, it was a game aimed at kids. I'd treat this more of more of a graphics demo, like they did in the day. It's more of a tech demo. The fact that this game came out in '84 meant that these graphics were staggering. There was nothing else like it. So I'm not going to give it a rating because I don't really think it's that kind of game. It's not that kind of video either. So yeah, a bit of a departure all around really. It's not like, you know, it's exempt from you know, review or criticism or anything, you know, rather like how the brown nosers feel about Elite Dangerous, but that is yeah, I think that's the best way. It's difficult to rate it really because I can't be objective, and I am clearly not the kind of person that the game was aimed at. So there we go, Alice in Videoland for the Commodore 64, and that brings this video to an end. We shall see you at the next video where normal service will be resumed.